Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're doing a Q&A, get ready with me. On my Instagram and YouTube, I asked you guys some questions or asked you to ask me some questions. So that's going to be today's video. And I'm going to be playing with some new and old makeup. Nothing is new there. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. So as many of you know, I have my online beauty consulting service, which is where you get to talk to me about any beauty question you might have. What's great about the service is that it's personalized and it's one-on-one. So you don't have to share my attention with 14,000 other people like you do here on YouTube. So it's much more personal and you just get my undivided attention. So if you'd like to book an appointment for yourself or purchase a gift card for a gift for the holiday season, click the link in the description box down below. Okay, let's go ahead and answer some of these questions you guys sent to me. Some of them you sent over on Instagram and some over on YouTube. And yes, my hair is still straight. I think this might be the last day. I think with straight hair, I notice the roots getting oilier faster than with curly hair, and it doesn't help that I keep playing with it. So enjoy the straight hair while it lasts. I'll do it again when I get a haircut, but that might be a few months. Okay, so Yayi's Corner wants to know, what eye cream do I use and what's the correct way to apply? She's 51 and her skin is aging around her eyes. So my favorite eye cream is the Chantecaille Stress Repair Concentrate Plus. It's an eye cream, but you can also use it for any expression lines you might have, like any other stress lines around your face. And the way to apply it is with your ring finger. I think this is enough for one eye. So you definitely need less than you think. And you're going to go around the orbital bone here. I was always taught to do it in this motion here. I suppose it's to counterbalance the muscles because your face has tons of muscles. So I think it's just to go ahead and smooth out any creases you might have. Okay, let me go into some eyeshadow. I'm going to use my Chantecaille Giraffe. This is a nice brown. I'm hoping to have something that's closer to my sweater here, but I think I might just like make a concoction, might mix a few things around. Going in with a brush and a little bit of setting spray. This is the Chantecaille Rose de Mai face spray, but this is a travel size. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spritz this. Okay, so another question here is from Flory, and she says that she's 53, she has dry skin, and her question is about makeup bases. What makeup base do I recommend? And is the Bobbi Brown Primer Plus Protection SPF 50 okay? Now I know that having SPF in makeup is popular. A lot of foundations or BB creams, etc. have an SPF in them. Personally, I don't like an SPF in my makeup. For me, that's never a selling point. If I ever had my own cosmetics line, I would not add SPF to makeup. I just don't think that it belongs in makeup. The amount of SPF you need to get adequate sun protection is a lot more than you think. And it doesn't matter if it's a primer or a foundation, whatever, you're not adding that much to your face. You're not using that much foundation or primer. So even if it says SPF 50, you're not getting an SPF 50 protection from the makeup that you applied. I would much rather see you apply your skincare like serum, moisturizer, wait, apply a real sunscreen, wait a little bit more, and then do your makeup. I just don't think that one has anything to do with the other. The primer that I like for my face is from Bobbi Brown, but it doesn't have an SPF in it. It's the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I'm certain you've seen this before. It's essentially a very lovely scented lightweight moisturizer. So you're just going to go ahead and add a little bit more hydration and moisture to your skin before you apply your foundation. This is what I like. If you like the Primer Plus Protection SPF 50 and you want to keep using it, that's fabulous. But don't use it expecting sun protection, because there might be a little bit of sunscreen in there, but there really isn't as much as you think. So you can use it, but don't use that as your sole basis for SPF. Now, I got a couple questions about my shampoo, conditioner, hair product routine. So I have done a couple videos on my channel talking about my hair routine, etc. I don't have that many dedicated videos to my hair because I think a lot of people watch me for makeup more than hair. And so when I have done hair related videos, honestly, they just haven't done that well. So I don't really do them. Every now and then I'll include some hair favorites in like a monthly favorites video. And there are certain brands that I really love when it comes to hair. So I have naturally curly hair. It does not show today because I had it straightened, but the second that I wash it, it will be back to its curly self. That is just a matter of time. But I also have very naturally thin and fine hair. As you can tell, this is a perfect example. Like, my hair is naturally curly, but it's also so thin and so fine. Like, there's no like volume at the roots right now because that's what I wanted. But when I have my curly hair, it looks more voluminous. So personally, I don't often use like the curly hair products because a lot of them are just way too heavy for me. Brands that I love are Christophe Robin. I love AG Hair Care, that's a great brand. I also love the brand Amika. So what I do is I look for products that are hydrating and lightweight. I also go for volume boosting. So I might do a shampoo that's volumizing and then a conditioner that will hydrate, and then I will look for curl activating. When it comes to styling creams, things like that, it's always the words curl activating. That's what I look for. Lightweight, hydrating, because anything that's like a deep conditioning mask is going to be terrible for me. It's going to like weigh my hair down and just not work for me. So listen, it's a struggle. I feel like with curly hair, you really have to test out a lot of products before you find something that works for you. And I often just like mix and match. I'll go in with one shampoo from one brand and another conditioner from another just to sort of get what I want. I'm going in with the shade here from Chantecaille as well called Crane. This is like a smoky cranberry. So I'm gonna go ahead and just like tap this on top of the brown here. So Nikki L or Nick L wants to know, if I had a second YouTube channel, what category would it be? So if I had another YouTube channel, it would be about cooking. I love to cook. In fact, I think if I weren't in the beauty sphere, like I've been working in cosmetics for a very long time now, but if I weren't working in cosmetics, I would be working in the food industry. I would be doing something along those lines. I think I would have gone to a cooking institute, or I did consider going to culinary school, but I was discouraged from doing that. I was also discouraged from going into beauty school. But I think that I'm a very creative person in general, so food is another way for me to be very creative. So if I wasn't working in cosmetics, if I hadn't chosen this career, I would have chosen the culinary arts. Okay, so Charlie George wants to know, how do you make a relationship with a Chanel counter person to get samples, to get notices of like new collections? Okay, so I used to work for Chanel. I used to work at the counter in department stores several years ago. So things may have changed, but I think a lot of it is still fairly similar. So the best way to build a relationship with a sales associate for any brand is to be nice, first of all. There are so many rude people, rude clients who just, I don't know, are just very rude. So being kind definitely helps. Being patient while there's like a huge rush definitely helps. And you can give your name and number to a specific salesperson and tell them, listen, I'm interested in the new collection coming up. Please call me or text me when you get it and I will buy it from you. Because people who work in sales, they are, commission inspired. They're inspired by commission that they make. So if you tell them, listen, I want to buy this, and if you text me, I'll buy it from you, that's a great incentive. One thing to note is that there is not a sample factory in the back of the store. They can't just invent new samples. There is a finite amount of samples available. Sometimes they're genuinely sometimes there is genuinely no more samples left, and that's just the reality. But if you keep purchasing from the same person, you can also purchase different products from different brands from the same person. I know when I was working at the counter, we had sales targets for the brand itself, whatever counter it is, Tom Ford, Chanel, NARS. You have sales goals for your counter, but you still get commission if you sell from a different counter. And I think now with COVID and all that, retail managers and higher ups are very understanding, hopefully. So if you tell a salesperson, I want to buy the newest collection, text me when you get it, but also I need XYZ from different brands, and you shop through them, they're very likely to give you samples, and you can get different samples from different brands because they're still making money and they're still making commission when you shop from different products. So that's a great way to do it. And also sometimes you just click with people. Sometimes you meet a salesperson and sometimes they forget to call you or text you, and that's okay. You can try to find someone else. If the person never calls you back or never texts you, because not everyone is super organized. I mean, this is across the board in every single field. There are some people who are just more motivated at their jobs and better at their jobs. I think if you talk to the counter manager, you definitely are more likely to get a call back because the counter manager clearly is on top of business and is interested in making business. So they certainly will call you back. So I would say be kind, be patient, be understanding. Sometimes they run out of samples, and be willing to shop with them for everything. If they're at a department store, it doesn't matter if it's a Nordstrom or a Macy's, whatever. If you want anything, even sometimes they'll help you shop in other departments. I've had that happen where, they're just willing to help you in other departments. That's not always the case, in shoes or clothing, but sometimes they just really want to keep you as their client, so they're willing to do that. So if you have any cosmetics that you want to buy, try to find one person to shop through all of that. That can definitely help you out. Now, Nikki wants to know what my favorite foundation is, and I think that's the one that I just used. I'm going to show you. It's the Chanel Sublimage L'Essence de Teint. It's a serum foundation. I think Chanel in general makes the best foundations. I have a lot of luxury brands. I have a lot of different luxury foundations that I like, and I really like a lot of them, but across the board, I think Chanel just does really, really beautiful complexion products. So this is the Sublimage de Teint. I have the shade B30. This is a very liquidy, runny foundation. It's natural. I mean, it's a nice medium coverage foundation. This is one pump that I did here. So it gives you a light to a nice medium. It gives you a soft velvet finish, slightly luminous, not dewy or oily, but just natural, but a nice amount of coverage. It's expensive, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, so now Attic Neurotica, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that, wants to know which foundation can be a lightweight texture that offers light coverage and is buildable. They live in a hot climate, 30 degrees Celsius on average. That sounds lovely right now. It's freezing here. They want a lightweight formula for a daily basis. So I think I would stick with Chanel, of course, and I would go with the Vita Lumière Aqua. No, I think the Velvet. Hold on. My brain got scrambled for a second. I needed more coffee. The Ultra Le Teint Velvet. That would be your choice because it's lightweight, but it's very buildable. and it has a matte finish, but it's not too drying. It's not going to look cakey or dry. It just has a nice velvet matte finish, and that one is great. Like anything in a matte finish is going to be great for hotter weather. So Ultra Le Teint Velvet. And what you're going to do is, instead of just doing like a full pump, do like spot correcting. Like start, if you have redness in the center, let's say start here and just blend out and do light sheer layers because you're living in such a hot climate. This does have a nice like medium coverage, so you're going to get a nice amount of coverage with it. So start off lighter and just blend out, and then if you have any more imperfections, blend out again. I think this is going to be your best option because it does have a nice level of coverage, but it's also matte, so you're not going to, like, you already live in super hot luminous climate, you don't need anything else. So that's what I think you should do. Okay, so looks like Flory has a second question here. She wants to know, she's the one who's 53. She wants a question about face and eye cream for dry skin. So eye cream, I would recommend the Stress Repair Concentrate, the one that I showed earlier. The eye cream is a rich texture, but it glides onto the skin very nicely. It has a lot of really good peptides and active ingredients. What sold me on the eye cream specifically is when I was testing it out, I immediately saw like a plumper, juicier under eye area. I don't know how else to describe it. It just looked plump and hydrated and back, like brought back to life. So that's what sold me on the eye cream. Now, I'm not 53, but I do think that the Bio Lifting Cream, also from Chantecaille, would be a great combination if you are in your mid-50s. It's made to be nourishing, to visibly smooth out the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, plump up the skin, nourish it, hydrate it. So I think those two would be great. There's also the Lift line from Chanel. I like certain products from the Chanel Lift line, not every single one. Some of them have alcohol in the ingredient list, so just like look at the actual ingredient. It's not all of them. I don't understand why, but just certain Lift skincare products have alcohol in it, and I personally don't like it because I have more sensitive skin. So if it has alcohol, I'm more prone to a bit of redness. But just look to see if that cream in particular has alcohol. If it doesn't have any, I think it's a great product. Okay, so Vanessa61 wants to know how many nail polishes do I own and what's my favorite brand. So I stopped counting after 40 Chanel nail polishes. I have more than 40 nail polishes, but at least 40 Chanel ones. Honestly, I thought it might even be more than that. I think it goes without saying that Chanel is my favorite nail polish brand, followed closely by Dior. I think that Dior actually has a better wand applicator. The wand is thicker and it's a bit of an easier application, but I just find that recently Dior hasn't really been coming out with that many new colors, and sometimes they come out with new shades that just aren't available in Canada and they won't ship overseas for some reason, so I find that very rude. Another brand that I really like is called Cirque Colors. It's online only and they just do lots of like super fun neon colors and lots of glitter nail polish. I don't think that Cirque nail polish is necessarily luxury, but if you're looking for just like a super high shine glitter nail polish, they might be the brand for you. Create Life wants to know my most favorite lipstick formulation. That's a hard one. You guys have some hard questions. I think it would be the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash. It's a super glossy, lightweight formula. It's so comfortable. You can reapply the lipstick and it feels like you're reapplying lip gloss, so it's just very comfortable to wear. Laura Bruno wants to know a really hard question. Laura, she wants to know, which Chanel palette do I like more? Come on guys, this is like choosing my favorite child. I don't have children, but I have a lot of Chanel makeup. That's hard. I mean, Contour et Expérience has and will be one of my favorites for life. I hate to say it, but the Les Beige 9 Shadow palette that came out a few years ago that they rudely discontinued, it was just like a limited edition, one and done. That one is one of my top favorites. I don't wear it that much on my channel because it's not available to buy anywhere, so I don't want to like taunt you. But if you bought that palette, which I know a lot of you did, you know how amazing it is. It's just like the most beautiful, versatile, everyday palette. I think Chanel would make so much money if they just brought that permanently, because it's so great. It's just like for any occasion, any, like if you want to wear it for work, for a night out, it's great. It's like neutral, but there's some darker colors. It's the best palette ever. Now, T Lynn 1903 wants to know my favorite lip liner and lipstick combo, or eyeliner and eyeshadow combo. Now, I have lip liners, but I don't wear them every day. It isn't a product that I feel the need to wear every day, quite frankly. So I have some lip liners, and my favorites tend to be nude ones. So the Chanel lip liner 172 Bois de Rose, it's like a nice rosy pink, like a rosewood nude pink. That type of lip liner would be my favorite. As far as eyeliner go, I would definitely go with a Chanel waterproof liner. Actually, no, that's a lie. It was my favorite, but the new, like the Victoria Beckham eyeliners have dethroned Chanel eyeliners for me. I think that they're just amazing. They're just so creamy and so buttery and so easy to use. And I love that the Victoria Beckham eyeliners have the little sponge to blend out after. I think that all smudgy, creamy eyeliners should have a little sponge tip applicator on the back. If I were Prime Minister, that's what I would make happen. Not that I would ever be Prime Minister, because that sounds like a nightmare. Okay, so Kay Joanna wants to know the difference between a setting powder and a finishing powder. Okay, that is a great question. So a setting powder is used to set your makeup to last longer, but a finishing powder is used to smooth things out. For example, the Chantecaille Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. This has a nice blurring and finishing effect. It does get confusing because sometimes both are used to mean the same thing or vice versa, so that does get confusing. Monica Vidani says, a boring one, how to choose the right foundation shade when I am not able to understand my undertone. Okay, well, I think if you don't really understand what undertone you are and you're trying to buy something online, I think trying to talk to a chat, you know, like all websites have a little chat person you can speak to. I think that would be a great source. If you can go in person, that would be ideal. Like I can't really tell what undertone this person is by like the little tiny photo here. I think like if you can try to go in person, that would definitely be helpful. Just to do like a really quick breakdown of like cool versus warm. So a warm toned person is someone who tans very easily, who looks good wearing like gold jewelry, like gold is yellow, yellow is warm. Someone who is cool toned won't tan, they'll burn like tomato, like lobster. And they tend to look better in silver jewelry. There's also hair that's involved, an eye color, like gray hair is silver. Silver is cool toned. When we come to hair color like brown, like a caramel ombre highlight, that's warm. If you have black hair, that's cool. If you have blue eyes, that's cool, but sometimes eye color can be a little funny. You know, sometimes you can have blue eyes with like a little hint of yellow. I have brown eyes that are very warm, but sometimes people have brown eyes that are more black, which is cool. So it is confusing. I would recommend trying to speak to a human being in person. That's definitely going to be more helpful. But like I mentioned also, you are not getting my undivided attention right now. I'm sharing it with like 14,000 other people. So if you specifically would like to know what to use or what shades to get or what your undertones are, a consultation might be right for you. I'm going into a blush. This is the Laura Mercier Chai blush, and Vanessa61 wants to know, did you go to university? And if you did, what did you study? I did go to university. I went to a liberal arts college and I studied history and then French literature. So I did a double major. I started off in history. I like history, but I really did not do well in my history program. Like, I was a C average student in my history program. And then at some point I decided to do a double major in French literature. And I was a straight A student. Like, I graduated with a 3.87 GPA, which was impressive because it was pretty low starting off in history. I didn't really have a specific focus in history, which is weird. I enjoyed a lot of the courses on turn of the 20th century history, talking about communism and workers' rights and unions, Emma Gold. I really enjoyed that time period in history, but I also studied like First and Second World War. That was also very fascinating. I studied also Canadian history. Honestly, a lot of my teachers were super boring, which is funny because I have my beauty history series and like I love history. I think it's fascinating, but there was something about the history program that was so dry and dull and boring, and just like they just made it seem like so unimportant, or just like so like, who cares? I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I don't know how to describe it because I love history, I love museums, I love this sort of thing, but somehow the way that it was taught was terrible. Like, it just was so flat and passionless. I think that's what it was. There was no passion, there was no almost like interest. And I think what we have to remember is sometimes people who are university professors are there because they're researchers and scholars more than they are teachers. So I think that's what happened there, because I don't understand how I did so poorly, but I don't know, like I would just sit there in a lot of these classes and I would listen to these lectures and I would write essays and do midterms and I would just get like C's, maybe a B, and it was like there was some disconnect between the material and me. It just didn't click. So yeah, I'm really happy that I switched to French literature because that was great. It was like history because it was French literature, 18th, 19th century. I was studying people like Albert Camus, Jean-Paul Sartre, Victor Hugo. So it was an element of history as well because these were historical figures. And the literature part sort of added humanity and a sense of real life, and because literature is always a reflection of society and the norms and the problems in society, and so reading them, I sort of felt like I was reading and studying about real humans instead of just here are some dates and some facts. For the highlighter, I'm going into one from Givenchy. They sent this to me very kindly. This is the Prisme Libre highlighter, number 10, Organza Or. It's really a beautiful highlighter. Oh, wow. Oh, it looks beautiful. It just looks like finely milled gold powder. Hannah in Atlanta wants to know, what lip color did I wear on my wedding day? So fun fact, my husband and I eloped. We didn't have a traditional wedding because we didn't want one. We didn't want to spend a mortgage worth on a wedding. We eloped. We went on a honeymoon to Italy for 2 weeks, and then we bought a house. That was our life plan, and I think it's great. I recommend eloping to everyone. So on our wedding day, I wore a liquid lipstick, a red one from, I think, Stylo Cosmetics, and it's called Bezo. It is the most beautiful red. Like, if you want a super long-lasting, long-wearing classic red lipstick, this is it. I mean, if you're in the market for a liquid lipstick, they make amazing ones. Jet Van Gorsel wants to know, how did you lose weight? You look great. Well, I looked great beforehand, thank you. So I've always been fluffy. I've always been a fluffy woman, as I like to call it. But during like peak pandemic, I definitely got more fluffy than I was comfortable with. I think it was all the banana bread. I was making like banana bread every single week. It was delicious, but maybe not great for my health long term. So I decided to speak to a medical professional, and I've been working with a dietitian slash nutritionist. So this is someone who's specifically gone to university for several years studying health and nutrition, not diet fads. And for me, it's great. I think it's wonderful. It's worked out perfectly for me. This may not work for you. For me, it works great. Like, I don't restrict anything. Like, I eat every food group. I eat carbs every day at every meal. I think it was more about learning like what's a healthy portion of everything. Like, how many carbs do I need? How much protein? How many fats? How much, you know what I mean? Like, just the healthy, appropriate amount. So I eat everything. I just eat it a little bit less and maybe more in moderation, and I eat more vegetables. So it sucks because there's no like magic pill, you know, it's not a quick fix. I think it's more just about looking at it as like health and just like long term, and just like making choices that are like healthier for me, for my body, for like long term. So that's what I've done. So for the lip, I'm going into one from Guerlain from the fall collection. This is number 910. I just realized that I forgot to turn on my little decoration over here. I'm so sorry. You've had a video without the little magical lights in the background. How devastating. So we have one last minute question here from Ivana, and she wants to know, hi Ali, since your channel is growing, what are your goals for 2022? Any plans for incorporating new ideas? Well, I mean, it's hard because it's great to have goals. Okay, it took me a second to figure out what my brain was trying to say. So I've learned that just deciding or hoping for like a fixed number, like saying I want 20,000 subscribers in 2022, that's great. Life doesn't always work like that. Like, there's certain things that are in my control, and there's certain things that are like outside of my control. One thing I've learned here on YouTube is that it really does not matter how great you are, how charming, how charismatic, how diligent you are, the lighting and camera equipment. Sometimes YouTube will literally promote or hide your video for no reason. I've had lots of people comment saying, hey, I thought you stopped filming years ago because I got unsubscribed. And so, like, there are some things that you can control. Like, I control how much content I put out and the quality I put out. And it definitely does make a difference being consistent. But, you know, there are a lot of us out here like that are around the same level. I'm sure you watch all of us. And we're all about the same level of quality and charm and loveliness, but we don't have millions of subscribers, and that's okay. I don't know what my goals are for my channel. I think to keep being consistent, and you know, the beauty history series is something that I've revived. That's where I talk about like an icon in the fashion or beauty world. I have a new video the first Friday of every month. That is something that is a lot of work for me, but it's something that I really, really love. So that's something that is a goal for me to continue for 2022. And I certainly hope that picks up and gets more views in 2022, but there's only so much I can do. You know, sometimes YouTube just doesn't show my videos or my channel to people, and there's not much I can do for that. But as far as incorporating new ideas, I don't really know. I mean, if you have any new ideas you'd like me to incorporate on my channel, let me know in the comments. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because that's what I've been doing for the past, I think I've been on YouTube for like 4 years, something like that. And I've just been doing what I'm doing, keeping my head down. I'm up here in Montreal, just chilling, minding my own business. And it's really great because this past year, 2021, I would say, I've just been doing what I'm doing, posting 3 videos a week, posting on Instagram, you know, just keep on trucking, doing my job. And all of a sudden, these brands that I've loved and respected discovered that I existed. It's kind of cool. Brands like Chantecaille, Givenchy, Clé de Peau, Laura Mercier. There's more. It's like, part of me is like, really? Me? But I guess it makes sense. You know, I've just been really diligent and working hard. And, you know, when I first started this, I connected with a lot of different people across the world. And I would say that almost all the people that I met when I first started doing this quit a long time ago. So there is something to be said for not quitting and to just keep doing your job and just to keep doing your best. And I think managing your expectations, because there is no world in where I do a Get Ready With Me talking about new and old makeup where it hits the trending page and goes viral. You know, like that just doesn't happen. But that's okay, because I like my community, I like my channel, I like my videos, I like my beauty consultation, I like my beauty history series. Like all of it, it's fine. It's good. I like my little world, I like my community, and I'm gonna keep it like that. So those are the questions. This is today's Q&A. I was really surprised that so many of you asked technical makeup questions. I thought you guys would ask like more personal, get to know me questions, but I think there was a good balance. There's a couple questions about like myself as a person and a lot of makeup questions, which makes sense because I mean, I am a makeup expert. I am the Chanel makeup lady here on YouTube, so it makes sense. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A. Maybe I'll do another one of these in a couple of years or something. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for coming along for my YouTube ride. All of a sudden, I hit 14,000 subscribers. And I feel like what's that Greek myth where you're just like pushing a rock up a hill? I feel like I'm still that person, but I don't know, all of a sudden I hit 14,000, which is pretty cool. So thank you so much for supporting me and for subscribing. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.